terms of like, character hook, there's this one movie where it's very clear who the character hook is. That's the movie Hook.
I was going to just jokingly say that. I was like, no, he's making a point. Don't derail him. God damn it,
You don't get
Oscar.
to steal my joke. No.
But they do.
Yeah, we're here at Pledge Month. Welcome to PBS.
PBS.
Or ORC or whatever. What?
It's just Funimation, where they would have their
That's
little
what it is,
advertisement, and it's like, Funimation, you should be watching. And it's just like this weird, creepy, like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not watching.
Whoa. How did they know?
little aggressive there, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You guys missed me in glasses. Sorry. Maybe someday you'll
Shame.
see that. I don't wear glasses.
Yeah.
I'm not a nerd. I actually like the size of the frames of your glasses because I want more rectangle. Because I'm getting old and I'm going to need bifocals. So
Yeah, I'm going to need bifocals pretty soon, so we'll see how long I actually have these
Yeah.
frames.
I have 20/20 vision. It's just that either I'm going to wear glasses or I'm not. So
Yeah.
it's just like I'm not going to be like, hold on, let me put it down or get my little glasses so I can read stuff.
Yeah. I've spent years doing that, and I'm over it.
Yeah.
Especially since neither is great now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, you're still getting LASIK, Ken, for your far sight.
I have pretty good night vision, and they say
Oh,
LASIK
yeah.
kind of messes with your night
Yeah,
vision.
don't do it. Honestly,
Not gonna.
like
Also, you can only do it once, and then your
No,
eyes
you can do
change
more.
back a lot.
Yeah.
And you do it
I mean,
again.
You might have to get it
I
again.
might have to.
Yeah.
My right eye, just not as.
Just get
it's
the cyber eye,
Oh yeah, like
They're already good.
Spike.
I know they're gonna go to shit anyways, so just take it.
I had a GURPS game master once who said, like the truth about cyberware, because we were talking about Cyberpunk and Shadowrun and all those games with cyberware. He's like, the truth about that is like why people really wouldn't get cyber eyes is it's not that easy to find people who will volunteer to go under the spoons.
Yeah, enough value.
That's like yeah, right. The value won't care about nothing.
It's like, I don't need my real eyes.
What was it? Beetlejuice, where it's just like he popped him out and he's got him on his fingers or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it made that
Oh.
sound. Yeah,
That's true. Sorry for.
no, it's okay.
I'm adjusting my mic. It is a temporary thing. So
Yeah,
We both know about adjusting. So
yeah. That's why we man spread.
Sorry, I'm just realizing it's so different. Yeah, you don't hear about women man-spreading. Just take up your own allotted amount of space.
Well,
Are you
Fine.
saying in defense or of men or women?
Women.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
But men, we have different biologies to our hips.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
That's
also have
been
wide
proven.
hips too.
No, ours like point outward.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. But a seat, you get a certain amount of real estate.
Take it up
That
with the
is-
airline.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They should have male seats and female seats.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
okay. I like that.
Yeah.
No, they're already like trying
Ladies
to
in
like
front.
make it so we have to stand up during flights. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, no.
Honestly, yeah, the airlines would
Yeah.
probably be like, "Oh, you
Oh,
want
sure.
less room
Here's
all over?"
here's
Yeah.
the general admission section. Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing room only.
Oh no,
Gosh.
turbulence.
Now I want to own an airline and call it standing room only. I'd get all the passengers right.
Man,
B&B
Oh.
Airlines, where you only stand.
Yeah.
I stand for what is right.
You've came up with our slogan now too for the airline,
What?
where you only stand.
Oh my gosh.
Or only one
Yeah.
shall stand.
Okay, I
Come see our only stands page.
I think we've had
Mostly
about
feet pictures.
4 minutes of bullshit.
No.
this time.
Yeah, no.
No.
No bullshit.
And balladeers.
cat in here?
I didn't throw her. I just gave her a blanket and I thought she'd stay.
No. Okay. Well, we have to deal with that, huh?
Mhm.
Meow.
All right. Welcome
to Bards and Balladeers, y'all. We might have to be dealing with a cat, but
Yeah.
we're always happy to serve. So,
Where a cat can be a cat.
and where cats can be cats. We're all cats. We are the podcast about story in all its forms. We are a humble troop of three authors who had come together to talk about our craft and hopefully make sense of it all. So I am Rio,
I'm Oscar.
I'm Kate.
and we are Bards and Balladeers. You are finding us here on YouTube with cats, CatTube. Hello. But yeah, so we are here talking on Discord. No, we have a Discord. So if you want to join that, you want a little bit more unadulterated speech and talk and fun stuff and memes, we just have a good time there. It's nothing serious. It's just this, but you get to talk to us right away. We are on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, maybe more in the future. Maybe we'll get on Netflix because apparently they're doing podcasts as well.
Don't go there. Come here.
Come here, yeah. If you want any of that stuff, it's all in the links below. Check that out. We all have some events that we are going to be at. You can check it out on. I'm worried about my drink here. You can check it out on our links, on our link trees, on our Lovely Woods page. We have an events page there, so you can check it out. I think we should probably have one on our actual Bards and Balladeers page. I'll get on that.
Yeah, that's all you, man.
Yeah.
Call our tech support.
Yeah, you do all the work.
I am the tech support. And today we are talking about hooks, line, and singer is what the title of this episode is.
Hook, line, and singer.
Hook, line, and singer, because one of the most important things on anything that you watch, especially this day, because attention is at such a low, like you have to get that attention very quickly within the first, for a movie, it's like 5 minutes. For a song, it's like the first 2 measures, like, you know,
see if you can see the first 5 minutes of this episode and what's the hook that got your attention.
It's the cat.
It's a cat.
Yeah, probably the cat. But yeah, so it's one of those, again, we talk about the legs of storytelling, and this is arguably, like you always say, one of the fourth legs of storytelling is the method of delivery and everything, and also how you are given that initially, or like that's what like trailers are. Like you can think of trailers as a hook, and you see it before it's a preview. But the hook in a lot of things is just what is going to give you that kind of idea of what you're going to get into.
It's what gets you to invest your next 5 minutes of attention.
Yeah, and then 5 more, and then 5 more.
Not that there's a new hook every 5 minutes, but the first 5 minutes should get you invested in. I'm going to sit and like see how this plays out.
Yeah.
And it gives you a quick snippet of like what you're investing into. Like
Right.
it has to have, a few crucial items, like you're setting the tone with your hook. You're establishing character, you're establishing setting. There's so much that does happen within the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a certain kind of magic to see it all done so subtly. In some examples, sometimes it's not so subtle, and that works for the piece or, whatever you're looking at.
And you do see this, like, again, for movies, it's just that kind of like standard that's been set over the years. I mean, sure, older movies, you find like they're going to just do whatever they want to get, like, this is a story and this is the characters and whatever. But like movies that do this well, you'll see it to the 5 minutes, like Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one. It literally, if you watch the time on your on the timer or whatever,
on your clock,
the clock, it's 5 minutes right up at the point where Elizabeth is younger and she finds the gold medallion, and then it kind of pans to her sleeping in the bed and waking up and everything
as an adult or young adult.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Young adults. So it's stick you, but you get all the information, everything you need in those first 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's pirates, there's, Aztec gold, there's a curse. There's like, I think they talk about the curse. Maybe I don't
There's
know.
a disdain for the pirates.
Oh, disdain for the pirates. Yeah.
You even see the Black Pearl.
Yes.
Mhm.
Briefly. Yep. So,
Wow.
there's something ominous about like even maybe spiritual or supernatural.
Mm-hmm. You even meet Mr. Gibbs in the beginning, and he's
You do.
Because isn't the narrator for most of the
He's not really the narrator, but like some of the important exposition is done by him.
yeah.
Like how did Jack get off the island, or
Yeah.
what is it
Not allowed
about?
to jack off an island?
no,
That
that's
not
the
to
other
be what I
version of
talk
Pirates of
about,
the Caribbean.
That's the eighth one. Sure. But yeah, like you get his talking about like cursed pirates sail these waters, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, he just does a lot of that important exposition. It's a great voice for it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, even Fifth Element, you see the aliens and you see them hauling the Fifth Element out. They'll be back in 300 years. It's the evil. The evil will come back, and so will we. That's the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And a lot of like that gets a lot of people like, okay, I'm going to keep watching. Then it pans to 300 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So kind of like Elizabeth waking up as an adult, like it's almost like a prologue.
It is. It's good for exposition, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And the hook doesn't necessarily also need to be the inciting incident either. And some stories it can be, for sure. Some books, some shorter novels. But I feel like in large, more epic tales, it typically isn't. Like you feel like the hook definitely comes first. Whether, kind of like how we were preparing for this when you mentioned that there's hooks for each leg of like storytelling.
Yeah. Like there'll be a character hook. Okay. What character are you most interested in the first 5 minutes? Or, a plot hook, like what, like you don't usually know the plot in the first 5 minutes,
Right.
but there'll be a hook that's related to the plot that gets you intrigued.
At least maybe the beginnings of the plot, like at least a very minimal parts. Like, well, this is going to be a romance of like two people are coming together and they get split apart or something like that. Then you spend the rest of the movie trying to figure out like how they're going to get back together or whatever.
Right. Or like Pirates of the Caribbean. There's this medallion. There's these cursed pirates. There's, all that kind of stuff.
And in, one more in Summer Wars.
Yeah.
Sure. The introduction of Oz, but also the slight sprinkling of the satellite that then gets mentioned at the very end.
I was like, oh, this is going to come back later.
Right.
Pun intended.
Which, what'd you think? We never really talked about it.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I don't think it's going to be the same like rewatchability for me where I could watch it month after month.
Yeah.
That's Lodoss War for me.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it though.
Yeah. No, it's a good, I didn't know what it was at first. Like, what, because you said Summer Wars and that title doesn't necessarily scream
nothing
that story.
Actually.
I mean, not even just wars.
Yeah.
But they're always talking about their old family and now they're always in all these wars.
Sure. But I guess the hook for that one, like, did you feel, because again, this is the first time seeing it. So I'm curious to see, like, did you feel like you got enough information that would keep you possibly like,
Like, the thing about Oz, the thing about the satellite, also just the setting, like it felt like it was reminiscent a little bit of Cowboy Bebop in the sense that what you get about the like technology level of thing. I know it's kind of current day, but it still sort of felt like halfway between current day and Cowboy Bebop to me.
Sure.
Because of the AI stuff that's going on. I thought,
see what you're saying. Yeah.
And just also the aesthetic of it felt similar in some ways.
Very good animation. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, Fifth Element, The Matrix, the first 5 minutes.
Oh, some of the best first 5 minutes of any movie, honestly.
Right. And like that definitely was a hook. Like, okay, like there's some kind of superpowers going on. Like that's the first 5 minutes. That's There's the one, there's, like, is this line safe? Whatever. Oh, she got out.
Yeah. And she's not there when she cause they even show her like digitizing out like they do later in the movie.
Right.
It's just like, she's like, oh my gosh, there's a car coming. And then you're like, she's not there. Did she like force her way? Like no one knows what's going on. Like
and you even get that there's a mole.
Yes.
Yep. Like, cause they like, doesn't matter. The mole's real or the contact or whatever. So
I forgot how it started.
Gives you all of that.
He does all that crazy stuff. And then of course, what a wonderful thing that like, we haven't seen any of that up until that point. Like, the filming and I don't know if you ever seen the, like how they did those shots and everything. It's like they had camera set up in a full like 360 and they just took shot all the way around and everything. And they stitched it all together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
But in terms of like, character hook, there's this one movie where it's very clear who the character hook is. That's the movie Hook.
I was going to just jokingly say that. I was like, no, he's making a point. Don't derail him. God damn it.
You don't get to steal my joke. No.
But they do. I mean, even that movie has, a decent hook too, where
it does.
Reintroducing Peter Pan in this new world that he's found himself in and how he wants to stay with not Wendy because she got too old. And then
And I think not to throw too many examples out either, but I do think that one movie, which is a adaptation of a book, I think, is How to Train Your Dragon. And it does all three of them so well in Hiccup's introduction, like monologue at the very beginning.
Which is a storytelling hook. That's the fourth leg.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that one honestly is just, I think, one of my favorites. One, because the soundtrack is also like another layer or the cherry on top, let's say. So it does so many good things in one thing.
I do think that one last example, because I think this is important. It happens in a number of films, things that are really epic. sometimes it's like they don't trust that they can get to that hook in the first 5 minutes. And so they do an exposition dump at the beginning, like Fellowship of the Ring or Dune or things like that. And that serves as the hook.
Right.
So,
and it seems lazy at times. I mean, and I get it why they have to, because it's not a book. You can't spend that time, like, getting to that. So sorry.
But it helps you invest in like the slower burn stuff that you see right after that, which can be really good, like especially with the latest Dune movie. But even the 84 Dune movie, I feel like did the same thing.
Right. I just think that can work if like everything else is so like spectacular and like just things that we haven't seen. Because if you had like another movie that just basically did the exact same thing as Dune, or like had that same space opera kind of feeling, like I don't think you would be as forgiving almost, because like
Star Wars scrolling text,
you know, like it's a
Star Wars would
big thing, you know, the scroll.
Then it becomes expected, right?
And it was very influenced by Dune.
Oh,
yeah,
the 84,
the books.
Oh, okay.
Like because the Dune books were written in the 60s,
right? But
so
how was
apparently
the scrolling?
The story Star Wars was influenced a lot by the Dune story.
I thought you meant the scrolling, you know, prologue, you know.
But even in the
Star Wars,
even in the Dune books, they're often at the beginnings of chapters and whatever. There's these paragraphs that are like excerpts from Princess Irulan's diary or thing, like her like she's kind of narrating that. So even in the 84 Dune, they had her do the exposition dump at the beginning. But then with Star Wars, you got the scrolling text. It's like, here's your context. I don't feel personally like they necessarily needed that with Star Wars.
No, you just started with the ships coming in and you'd be like, what's going on? Like, you know,
but
I think it gives, it helps with like the tone of like what's being like delivered to
you. It's like almost more serious because of that. Like, you know,
I think like I said, I think you see it with more epic stories. Because they're just like, oh, there's too much. We're never going to be able to do that. You know, let's just give the context.
Yes. The stakes, the context of what's at stake.
The stakes. It's the scope of the stakes.
Yeah. Sorry.
And so movies, again, do it well. And then books also had to have some kind of like, those first few the page or the first few paragraphs are so like vitally important to getting someone to continue reading and everything. 1984 is like a great example. It was a bright cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. Like that word 13 is odd. Like, you know, it's like normal. And then something just is off and then it catches you, you know, it's like, and then finding ways to catch a reader to do something and it's such a weird thing because hook can be different, not just for people, but also for their just experiences up until that point. You know, like, you know, if you've never seen Dune, but then you saw Star Wars and then you watch Dune and then Dune is just like, oh, well, Star Wars did this. But no, actually, like you say, Dune did it first. It's just like sometimes it's the newness to however your experience has brought, you know, to whatever that you're watching. So it's like people always say, like, you watch old movies or read books, like, well, that book did it better or that. But like people don't think about how this might be their first experience into this kind of like idea or like method of storytelling or whatever. And to them, it's going to be great, you know?
And I do think that like it's kind of almost leading into the idea that it's sort of subjective to each person.
Yeah.
So you get the person on the wrong day, you know, the music at the beginning of Star Wars startles them. You know, they might not like it, you know, and
especially if they have headphones in while they're watching. I've seen that.
It's like the Fifth Element with the headphones like go like that. Squishes the.
But with that said, too, then you know, music, like radio music, like regular you know, song type music, not just so much music as part of soundtracks. Like the hook is such a big thing for that too, because like on the radio, you have 3 minutes and 33 seconds, you know, for a whole song. That's like average, like the average of like the length of song that somebody that is like the most, I don't want to say trendy, that is the most like easily digestible for a person like on the radio. And so the hook, like the beginning is very important. Like what's the Queen one? The doom.
Oh, another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Like that's iconic, you know, like the hooks are just as important in like regular music, not so much like story wise, but like lyrically, but not words. Sound wise.
Yeah, sort of musically like setting the tone again. And it's funny you mentioned, like music, because what you were saying about like Star Wars may have been influenced by Dune, but it depends which order you came across.
Sure.
So it happens a lot. Like someone will not even remake a song or do a cover of it, but like they'll borrow the hook from a song.
Yeah.
So speaking of Queen, like Under Pressure, like do, which is also Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, but they're
no, it's the other way around.
No, I just mean like Ice Ice Baby like took that that hook. And so you recognize that hook, but like, so it's like sometimes people do it because, hey, this really worked. Right. Other times people sample a song, like Every Breath You Take, that dude, like the bass riff that Sting is doing in that song, that's the hook. Oh, honestly.
Yeah. Sure.
And that got used by, was it Diddy? I don't know if there was baby oil involved, but like, doing like a memorial kind of thing for, was it, God, I don't know my rappers again, Heavy D or who, I don't know. I'm probably messing that up.
Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And like just did this whole song. There was like an homage, it was like to his dead friend or whatever. Sure. But also the Smiths, How Soon Is Now, there's like a guitar riff. I kind of want to leave space for that, like right here.
Do my job.
there was a guitar riff, and then this band called Soho borrowed it. Like they started their song with the same like iconic guitar riff, but that song was called Hippie Chick. And so you see that a lot with like a hook is so catchy that not only do people borrow it, like Star Wars borrowed maybe like something from Dune.
Sure.
Like it doesn't only happen in film.
Yeah.
I don't know about books, but like in songs, it happens a lot, actually, even to the point of remaking a whole song or sampling it or whatever. Like Call on Me,
Oh, sure.
That borrowed from Steve Winwood. Call on me, call on me.
And then, because then it comes up to the whole idea of like sampling. It comes to doing, what's it called? When you cover stuff like that. But also
remixing or whatever.
But Daft Punk did a wonderful thing where they would sample just like sounds inside songs and then reform that into like other songs, like One More Time. Have you seen what they sample? It's in like an old 1970s disco song called More Magic for Me or something like that. And it just like, but you can hear the parts that they took and then they kind of like toned it up or toned it down and then sped it up or sped down. But it's there. It's all there.
Yeah.
And they just were like smart enough. I don't know what you call it, but they just took it and it made it their own. Like, and I love it. Like, who doesn't love One More Time with Daft Punk,
Well, and then, Strong Bad, obviously.
No, I respect what they do because it is a form of artistry.
They are pushing buttons, I guess. They're not keys on a piano, but.
No, but they do have a musicality that is very unique. And they're French.
They are French. Yeah. They still are. Yeah.
Je suis l'enigma. That's how the Enigma used to introduce himself. Oh, I was just thinking Enigma because he would sample.
I was just like, did you use the
N-word? Yeah, no, he just always hears the N-word. So
I do.
Every time.
But yes, hooks though. I do think that it is, obviously we've established that it sort of needs to happen in whatever thing you're creating. I mean, pictures, like static images might be a little bit different, but
you can probably attribute those too.
Yeah.
Like,
what catches your eye first.
Yeah. That's true. And so the hook doesn't need to establish the entirety of the plot, but it has to be a quick introduction to a lot of different things. And I think that, they're fun to play with.
It's a kind of promise in a sense. Like,
exactly.
Just like, here's what you're in for. If you like this hook, you're going to like the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But often the song, like if it's a song, it often has the hook ongoing, not all the time, but, and then like a story, the story hook. Usually the story is going to come back to what was established in the hook.
Right. Well, it should.
It's usually going to be a bad story if it doesn't.
Right.
But yeah, I think that I think of hooks as like a guideline, not a rule. Guidelines. I think of like, rules, guidelines, and styles as different degrees of the similar thing. Rules are, there is a wrong answer. Don't get it wrong. Guidelines are more like, you can ignore this, do it at your own peril.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the show. And if you can do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and share this video to get us more traction. And if you want to click the notification bell, you can get some more up-to-date information whenever we post a new video. All our links are down below. And now back to your show. But one of the things that like I want to talk to you guys, and why do you think it's so important that like if you're going to use it, or that we should have it, or that every movie is going to have it, or every book's going to have it? I mean, do you think we can even do it without it? Like that's a bigger question, because I do think that you need something to grab the reader or the viewer.
Yeah, I don't necessarily always think that's the hook. Like that's why I call it a guideline. You can ignore it, you can get away with it sometimes, but you do it at your peril, because this is an established thing.
Yeah,
that you're gonna do so much better. Like lots of songs don't really have a hook. I think, you know,
I would
like some of them do a build up, and it's not from like a hook, or it's like, you know, might not encounter the hook, you know, until like a minute in.
It's weird because like I see what you're saying. Like sometimes you can just have like a hook could be simply as simple like like, you know, and like, oh, I love funky bass. Let's get into this. Like, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, that's enough for some people to be like, I'm listening, I'm in, let's see, let's go for a ride. Like, you know, and like, if you saw the hook of any like sci-fi novel and you saw a space battle and everything, all right, let's see what's going on for a little bit. Like, you know, I want a good space battle. Like, you know, I just think it can do a lot if just like given the opportunity, like, you know.
I do. And it can do a lot if given the opportunity. Yes. Because I think those two things tied together is like you said, that the hook might not show up until later on, like in the song, when we're talking about specifically a song, even in like maybe even a story, like the hook or a prologue establishes something that you will probably see later on, that will get shown later on to a degree. And so I think with that said, like a hook of a song could be by the time we get back to that thing, which was already established and is then familiar, and it feels good because we're back to that home base. We're back to that home plate.
Well, it's almost.
So like you might get like a bass line or a drum beat, like in the beginning, like, you know, 10 seconds of a song, but then actually let's take Don't Stop Me Now, you know, from Queen. Like the beginning is slow. The beginning, like sets the vibe, you know, of the thing, but then the chorus does sort of mirror that beginning, just faster and more upbeat. And is like, it takes a thing that is now familiar. I don't know. This is at least my theory.
It's a payoff. Bit. It's almost
like Oscar said, it's the promise. Like the beginning is the promise of what you will get later on. And I personally, like you asked, like if it's important, or did you ask that? I think it is so important.
Yeah. I think really it's important, but I don't think like it's not a song if you don't have it, or not a story. If you don't. Like I said, ignore it at your peril. You can have a good story or a good song without it, but they're fewer and further between.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the ones that maybe don't have it don't turn out well.
Right.
Or there has to be a particular reason why there isn't.
Yeah.
But that reason usually shows up that early, and that kind of is the hook maybe sometimes. Again, like I do believe I've seen stuff without it, but
yeah. Or like, I feel like I personally feel like everything has a hook, because again, you need like something is going to grab you, whatever it is. Like, you know, if you see a cowboy walking into town and everything, and you don't know anything and you're just watching it, like that's a hook. Like, you know, like some do better than the others and everything.
Some
like,
are more chill than others too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're more subtle.
Overt. Yeah.
Right.
They're not the like screen crawl, you know, the fanfare.
And I think that without, you know, at risk of like getting too much into the weeds, but I feel like there's the argument that like, that's not necessarily a hook, but there's the other argument that there's inherently a hook, because it's the first section of meaning that you encounter, like the first section of like, this is the essence of this product.
Sure.
And that is in essence a hook, because it does make a promise that this is what this thing is going to be like.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, you walk into a Menards. Okay, well, I'm like 30 feet in here. I can see what this is like.
Yeah.
But that's just because you're in the beginning portion of this thing that has a more or less consistent structure. So then that kind of acts as a hook, like an intro, like you're either going to be pulled in or you're not.
Right.
But when you look back at it, you're not necessarily like, oh man, that beginning part of that blew me away.
Well,
not necessarily.
I get what you're saying, but I'm going to give the counter because I feel like the hook is marketing. Like, it is a marketing for whatever you're doing. And what I mean by that, like we went to Galaxy's Edge just recently and you walk into there and you see just all the like sci-fi stuff and just like, that's it. Like I'm ready. Like that's all. It wasn't even, we didn't even see the Millennium Falcon yet.
Right.
Like,
but let's talk about that. They had soundscapes, like funneled in sound that it felt like you were on a different planet because the birds were different.
Sounding
the
different,
sounds were different. There was like dripping water. You're walking through like a cave.
And you hear like starship sounds once in a while. Yeah.
And you're on a rebel base.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what he said.
Yeah.
No.
Don't give away their secret.
Sorry. It's on Dantooine.
It's just a place.
Yeah. It's nobody. Don't worry about it.
So the soundscapes, it's visually different because you're going from Hollywood Studios. It's Hollywood Studios in Disney World, which is like
backlot,
backlot, like New York City, like old Hollywood type streets. And then you go through this cave and then suddenly you're in Star Wars world.
And even the cave itself looks like it was carved by like an excavator. Like you see the lines that like whatever machine
point.
like dug into. Yeah. They did a really good job.
The flora changes. Yeah. There's so much that they do to set the tone.
In the marketplace too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Felt very like
that was my favorite part.
I know.
Other than like,
I have a picture. I'll have to put it up there. It's pretty cool.
Let's be real though, that company does not do anything by accident.
No,
they're going to have a hook. They will mandate that they have a hook. Like this is our hook, because they're not going to take that risk.
Right. But like to your point where you walk into Menards and everything, like if something is not displayed, like the difference between Menards and like Home Depot, I think is vast. Like don't get me wrong. I shop at Menards all the time because sometimes I just like the way that they set up, but Home Depot looks cleaner. Like, or their setup just looks better to me, and Lowe's, we won't talk about them, but
I think also because Home Depot's branding is more consistent than Menards do. I won't get too into that.
Well then, or like even Menards to Fleet Farm, but that's another thing too. It's just like the hook is for me is that marketing, like gotta get you, gotta grab you, gotta get, you in the door and everything.
I also want to say too, so a slightly different topic, but back to something that Oscar had said. I think you had mentioned this, but we have a note that the climax is the antithesis of the hook, whereas I've actually heard it in the other way that like your hook can be stronger if it juxtaposes the ending.
Sure.
And
I don't necessarily even think anymore that the hook is the antithesis of the climax.
Sure.
I think it's the antithesis of the wrap up.
Sure. That's why I said the end.
Yeah.
Because we have the antithesis of the climax here.
Yeah.
And so, when it sort of takes what you will have at the ending and kind of why I was tying into like later on when you get to the ending, it will feel familiar because you already felt it in the hook.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that cyclical writing. It's that coming full circle type thing.
And it's the slow fade out.
Yes. And truly what I really wanted to get to with that is that you don't, in this, where you, what you said earlier would come in. I'm pointing at Oscar if you're only listening. You can not have the most perfectly fabricated and woven hook to still have a good story. Like it's just an additional thing that you can do to make it a little bit more satisfying by the end of the book, perhaps.
Yeah.
But you also, like, if you're writing something, you don't need to like worry and spend so much time trying to perfect the hook because it just might not be where you're at that time. Like it's just, I want people to not worry about wasting so much time trying to perfect
the hook needs to come from some form of authenticity. Yeah. And if it doesn't, if you are just doing it as a sales pitch, you do lose something, even if it's not tangible.
Right. Yeah. But even as like, again, I don't think it's as much as I said it was like marketing. Don't get me wrong. I do agree and everything. I think you need it just to to be mindful of who's ever taking in this content. Like you just as a thing that says, hey, this is what it's about. Take it or leave it. Like
Yeah. It is kind of marketing though.
It is. No, don't get me wrong. Like,
Whereas like you can take, but I guess where I want to get with that is you can only use it as marketing if the ending is already made, because you have to know where you're going to go in order to truly target that hook then.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you can, but you can't write that first and then expect the ending to magically fall in line with it. I think you have to have the ending first before you can have a strong hook.
What do you always say? The promise and the payoff?
It's Brandon Sanderson. Promise, progress, and payoff.
You told me, so it's not Brandon anymore too.
And also, like even with music, you see some balance when the intro and the outro have a common theme. Like, again, every breath you take.
Sure.
The end of the song is just that hook over and over again.
Yeah.
Even the vocal, like repetitive. I mean, any Sting song is repetitive at the end. Mm-hmm. I mean, 80s songs. Exactly. That's still the Police, So any 80s song repeats at the end, and any Police song that goes double for them.
Yeah.
But what's the intro to Every Breath You Take? It's that bass riff. And at the end of the song, there's the bass riff with the sort of chorus overlaid. So it's like the hook plus. So it's where the story brought you on the back of the hook.
Yeah.
And so that's where you get that balance. But yeah, I think that you can't have a good story and a good song and whatever without that hook feel.
Right.
But again, at your peril. It's almost always going to be more iconic, more memorable and everything with the hook.
Right.
And
let's say a planned hook, because again, I do truly believe everything has some kind of hook.
I don't think it has to be a planned as a hook, but it has to be planned. Like it's got to be your hook fodder, and then the good marketing is to then use that as the hook.
I mean, I just think that even if you don't plan it, and you just make something, you create a song and everything, it's going to have an intro, and something about that intro will be the hook for somebody or something, or just like, that's what I mean. Like, even if you don't plan it now, if you plan the hook, like you say, then you can use it effectively as a tool for whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I think is the caveat. Like, everything's gonna have some kind of hook, whether it's good or not. Like,
because like even I using it as an example, Don't Stop Believing. Like, yeah, everybody knows the chorus, but it's the piano part at the beginning that gathers the Piper's song.
When the intro to the song Faith by George Michael is actually this like sort of church organ sound that starts almost like silent, then builds up. But then the actual hook is the guitar.
Yeah.
So the intro part never comes back, has nothing to do with the rest of the song, but it has to do with this, like the message Faith, because it's that church organ thing.
So I'm gonna tell you a story that I had about a hook that just pissed me off.
Arr.
Yeah, and it's not even about pirates. So there's a video game called Final Fantasy VII. One of the main antagonist is Sephiroth. It's a video game, and there's a song that plays when you fight him at the very end of the game. Spoilers. Called One Winged Angel, and it's just like chord dun 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 dun. Like it's just very
Sephiroth.
and a very like when you hear it, like any like Final Fantasy fan, any like anime fan knows as like dun dun, like those first two like chords, and then all of a sudden like, oh, it's Sephiroth, yay! I think he's a dumb.
They lose their mind.
Yeah.
Antagonist, but I went and saw a orchestra of a bunch of Final Fantasy music. And so eventually, like, this is, I forgot what they were doing, but they were doing Dear Friends. It was a bunch of Final Fantasy music. And then they started playing that song, and people lost their minds. And they're just cheering and hooting and hollering and everything. And the orchestra actually got off of a sync because they couldn't hear each other. They could see the director, sure, but they were out of sync of each other because it was just so loud and they couldn't hear the other instruments.
Right.
And I'm just like, what the crap? And I got mad because I was just like, you just ruined the song, guys. Like,
disrespect.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Theater.
So then I took you to go see another version
Outer Worlds?
of the or I forgot what it's called.
Other Distant Worlds.
Distant Worlds. Yeah. Distant Friends. I don't know. Dear Friends. No, Dear Friends is one. Anyways,
Friend Worlds.
but they played the song again. But before they played it, in order so people don't lose their crap. It's like, oh, we're gonna play One Winged Angel next, and everybody's like, yeah, and they got out of their system, right?
Yeah.
And then they involved the audience into just sing the chorus Sephiroth, and it was just like they're smart, they learned. I bet you anything they knew that these people were gonna like mess with the song. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't know what's gonna, catch fire or whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's like just how a good hook, really does set people off.
Yeah.
And I say set people off like in a good way.
Yeah,
Like it grips them, it compels them. It I don't know.
Well, in plot terms too, like, I feel like a hook is the emotive promise.
Oh.
And then
Emotive promise. Oh.
Emotive promise.
It's the emotive promise.
Terminatus.
And it's like the intro is the emotive promise, and the outro or the wrap up or whatever is the emotive payoff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about like a story, the plot promise happens after the hook usually, and the climax is the plot payoff. So that's maybe more like, the mental promise and the mental payoff or something.
Sure.
I would say I would agree. Like giving more terms to it is the inciting incident is then the plot promise.
Yeah.
Or the
like that.
plot intro. Yeah.
The plot hook.
Yeah. But I love that though. Like there's the concept of promise and, payoff and then progress in between.
Right.
But the difference between, what did you say? Cause there was the plot payoff and promise. And then there was
the emotive promise and payoff. And even with, like, if you're thinking about like the world building in a story, like what's the setting promise and is there a setting payoff? Because I feel like if you think, especially when you think about like sci-fi epics or something, like what's the Star Wars setting promise and what's the Star Wars setting payoff?
That's weird because it's not like they're trying to save the galaxy or that like the setting is, I guess the Jedi's. That's a plot though. Like I don't know what the
saying setting.
Yeah, setting.
I think it's a soundtrack. I really do.
Explain.
I really think the fanfare of the soundtrack in the beginning. At least let's just talk about A New Hope, because that's I think just the one that follows my theory at least to a degree. Like the fanfare, like it's very imperial. It's very regal to a degree. And one, it tells you that this is the plot of not kings and queens, but like the plot of like inheritance, like regal, like inheritance. And I think it sets the tone because it's following like the hero's journey essentially for Luke, not rags to riches, but like innocence to experience type thing. And so the fanfare in the beginning, during the like screen scroll prologue,
scrolly text,
versus the fanfare at the end when he's getting the medal for actually why is he getting it?
Being a hero and Chewie got nothing.
But
the dog
that's
got nothing.
My initial theory, other than showing Luke, it's either the music or Luke in Tatooine, then getting the medal at the end.
And it's funny. I almost feel like the fanfare is the emotive promise.
Oh,
and the medal ceremony, the theme over that is the emotive payoff.
Oh.
You know what I think the setting promise is the giant ship going by.
I was going to say the evil empire, but I gotcha.
Okay.
Because it's sort of setting like, this is the obstacle. This is massive imperial ships.
When it's very small, it's just like a normal spaceship, and then that huge overbearing, like the way they shot it too was really good too. Like
which is why Spaceballs lampooned that.
Oh yeah, but it was like super long.
Yeah.
Talk about
we break for no one.
Yeah,
what's the talk about parodies?
Yeah.
But if it's establishing the antagonist force, is it setting?
I don't think it has to be. I feel like it's the setting is like space battle kind of, epic space, like space war. Star Wars.
Yeah, space opera.
It's a Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure, it wasn't a Star Trek.
It's the funniest thing I've ever seen you do.
Well, that's why it's to boldly go. Like that's a trek. Damn it.
Sorry, real quick about that boldly go. So the first, I built that Enterprise Lego.
Yeah.
And there's a little placard that you put inside. You don't even see it. It's like in the inside. You put it in there and you cover it up, whatever. But you know it's there.
Yeah.
And there's a misspelling on it.
Right.
It says boldy.
Yeah, to boldly go.
To boldy go.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And like, but now it's a one-up.
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
a special
Boldy
go.
edition. Yeah.
Boldy go.
Boldy go.
One thing I thought was funny with how Hitchhiker's Guide made fun of that too. They're like, you know, back in the day when men were real men, women were real women, you know, and they're like, they were talking about the old days and, you know, to boldly split infinitives says that no one had split before because to boldly go is a split infinitive.
Oh,
Because to
To?
go is split by boldly.
Gotcha.
that's funny.
And I'm like, I get it.
Grammar joke.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of like British comedy, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
those what the thinkers, right? The
Yeah.
ones you
Well,
gotta-
and Douglas Adams was good on the science too.
Yeah.
But
Smart guy.
so like, you know, this is why I think each of these legs has a promise and a payoff. And if you kind of like nest them, like, you know, if they're like, I think of them like sets of parentheses,
Okay.
like the emotive promise and the emotive payoff, or like the hook and the wrap up or whatever, the intro, outro, or like the most outside set of parentheses.
Yeah.
And then there'd be the next one and the next one and the next one. And maybe some of them happen really close together. Like you said, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's kind of how I think of it with like some of the like most satisfying stories. Cause it's almost like there's the most harmony in intro and wrap up, intro and outro for each of those concepts, whether it's how the story is told, which, you know, with How to Train Your Dragon, it's like, you know, he's narrating and he's like, I'm Hiccup. That's me. That's the nerdy one, whatever. All the way to like, you know, plot, intro and outro, like, you know, the plot point and the climax or whatever. And that it feels like with a lot of the stories, like these nested series of brackets.
I can see that.
I mean, if you have a 3-act series or a 3-act story, it's kind of that way, right?
Well, even with, you can even with trilogies or series, you'll have a book intro and outro and a series intro and outro.
Yes.
So like the series outro for Star Wars would be at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
At least for the original 3, because there aren't any other movies.
No, there's only 3 movies.
That's the whole
Except
property.
Rogue One.
Except for
The perfect prologue.
Yep. Perfect prologue. He forgot to put it in there. So he had to do it later.
And it came into the perfect prologue because it's like, they're at the end of the film, it's like,
It's
and everyone loses their crap.
yeah.
That was amazing. I'm sorry.
But I'm sorry. I just didn't think that we'd have this much to talk about with hooks specifically.
We're pretty smart people.
I genuinely love, like, we are. I think we have 3 good perspectives, and I also just love, like, is this writing theory? I know it's a fourth leg. It's a storytelling topic.
Sure. I mean, it's all analysis at some point, like,
True.
you know, knowing how to, because if you do want to grab your readers, knowing how a hook works or where we've seen it done well is important.
Yeah, a lot of it is examples, but we kind of established our, like, what is it for?
Yeah.
But it's not just for not just an ad. It is an ad, and even ads have hooks.
Sure. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
But like, it's not just to sell the story. It's also like, what represents what I'm trying to do, just for me authentically to put on the page. Like, that's the hook for you to keep writing it, even,
Right.
you know,
or
to keep, you know, making that song or whatnot.
Right. And I was gonna say, you know what, even like looking at the analytics of like any of our shorts or any of our videos, you see when people watch and for how long before they fall off.
Right.
So there's a hook that keeps people engaged in your stuff and everything. And if we're not like selling it, I mean, I think our little kind of spiels at the beginning or a little talk in the beginning, I really do think that gets people to listen. But there's something about like TikTok or like Instagram where like they'll watch for like half a second, boom, next one. If there's not instant, like I don't see a kitty, I'm not going to watch it. Like, you know, it's just
legitimately.
Those alpha generation kids.
We love
and
you.
it's
Please
also,
watch.
I think, another layer to that is, and I won't go too far to worry.
Yeah.
That people do know what they want to see and what they don't want to see.
Yeah.
And I think the hook gives them a good opportunity to, and one of you said this, is that to decide whether or not they wanted to invest their time in this thing. Maybe it's because a hook does reveal what especially what is special about this thing that will be told?
Yeah.
And you leave it up to then your reader or your viewer or your listener to then decide if this thing is for them.
Yeah.
And so I think it's establishing trust. It's establishing so much, you know,
those
that
first few moments.
yeah.
And I think also like when there's, you know, if you've got the series of brackets, that first hook, if there's a while before the next intro, like the plot intro or whatever, that's saying I have a lot of confidence that this initial thing is going to keep you interested until you get to that next point.
Yeah.
So, I was going to talk about your book, but maybe another time because you've got a hook and I think it's good.
No, we got time.
We got more time.
I'm glad you liked my hook.
I did.
Cool.
And your pirates.
Yeah, those two.
They're pretty. The
hook pirates.
The hook pirates. I'm double hook.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We've been Bards and Balladeers. I'm Kate.
I am Rio.
I'm Oscar.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.